The discord between North Wilkesboro and Wilkesboro began when North Wilkesboro was incorporated in the late 1890s, when the railroad was brought into Wilkes County, and there was a deal made that the train would be arriving within a mile of the courthouse, and no one thought to mention there needed to be a bridge across the river to reach Wilkesboro. So the train tracks ended in the town of North Wilkesboro, and a town was created around the tracks. So there's a long history of discord, and some people probably even forgot why the discord might be there. But that has begun to ease up in recent years, and as more people have moved in and people have moved across the river as their lives progress, and the schools were merged, many of those reasons for being aggravated have dissolved.
A lot of the resistance to change in allowing ourselves to work together for common goals, I find, have been generational. We have a generation today that is holding office that have very diverse backgrounds. They are both employers and employees. They see the benefits of breaking down the barriers that have hindered progress between the two towns in the past.
My platform basically was, if I'm elected, I'm going to reach out to the community, reach out to the county, reach out to anybody to reach a common goal of what is good for the cause, and working with Wilkesboro, the county.
We are in a difficult economy. Tax revenues are falling. Small towns throughout North Carolina and throughout the country are losing population. We're losing our educated young people to the cities. We don't have jobs for them. So my role is to try to work with people in similar positions in small towns and do everything we can to pull in jobs for people and stimulate economic growth and save taxpayer dollars whenever possible.
We have double-digit unemployment rates. We have poverty rates that hover between 20 and 25%. We have high numbers of individuals on food stamps. Conventional wisdom has to be thrown out the window, and you really have to be willing to look at your opportunities, and that may include being risk takers. You have to, I think, challenge yourselves to be able to work together so that you can become more efficient and effective.
What we're hopefully getting rid of.
We found that we both have assets that are important to our towns that maybe the other town doesn't have. And through those discussions, we've been able to work together on sharing our equipment.
It makes no sense to duplicate a piece of equipment that is only used part of the time. The same can be said about most any of our departments within the town. We have been very successful in allowing our department heads to interact with their counterparts in North Wilkesboro, and quite honestly, they have taken that upon themselves. That has been an initiative that has not been driven from the top down. They realize that they have limited resources, and the way that they can become more effective is calling on their counterparts to offer support in not only equipment but manpower.
And it has to do with the relationship of communicating the two boards and the two managers being able to work together and reach across to one another to do what's best for the community.
The Visitor Center was brought to us at some point as a project from the Department of Transportation, and we were faced with trying to locate a suitable site to build the Visitor Center. And we were successful in that. We worked out an arrangement in which all of the entities, and I'm talking about Wilkesboro and North Wilkesboro as well as Wilkes County, agreed that it was better for all of us to work together to work to accomplish the acquisition of the property and the utilities being extended to the property together and to split those costs than it would have been to ask the county by themselves to do that or either one of the towns to do that by themselves. The property was just too expensive to serve from one entity alone. So we were successful in, the county had the task in acquiring the property.
Instead of one or the other town providing both of the utilities in water and sewer, we decided it would be more practical for one to put in the water and the other to do the sewer. Share the costs because we were going to share the benefits.
The role of manager in trying to get people to work together on a project like the Visitor Center, in my opinion, is to try to facilitate open communication from all the entities and to try to do the best to make sure that people's personal egos are not put in the way in which they are an obstacle for getting things done.
I think the elected officials in this situation have kind of given us the freedom to go out and find areas where we can work together. In turn, myself, I've given my staff the freedom and the expectation that where we can, we need to find ways to save a dollar or to stretch our dollar.
You can pull together your resources. An example of that is what we've achieved recently by jointly hiring a dispatcher for the purpose of 911 calls. And that would apply to those calls that would take place within the two municipalities. That gives us a faster response time for our fire and police and emergency responses. In so doing, we were able to achieve an objective, and it only cost us 50% of the cost. We had a lot of the equipment in Wilkesboro that we put to good use.
It's really going well. The officers seem to really like it. The community seems to embrace it. It's a way to save the citizens of both towns money.
I have tried to establish a rapport with my counterpart, the mayor of North Wilkesboro. We have engaged in having monthly meetings with the mayors and the town managers. We bring to the table challenges and opportunities that might be unique to them, but at the same time, until we hear what they are, we don't know if we don't have the same set of circumstances. I think quite honestly, the more you're able to discuss your challenges, the more obvious it becomes that they're common to each of us. And then that creates the scenario where you really have common ground to work together.
Remember that you're there to serve the public. And if you want to be diligent in that, then you learn how to communicate with one another. You have an open door and an open-mindedness to the issues that you're dealing with.
We do have a desire to work together to enhance the opportunities to better serve our citizens, to be more practical in our approach, and at the same time to be able to relate back to the citizens the benefits of cost savings by working together.
You know, we just finished up a retreat as a first of one that I've never seen before, where two towns come together and look at some strengths, weaknesses, and areas that we may be able to collaborate. And the school government led us in that retreat, and out of that we got some good outcomes and look forward to more collaborative efforts.